This is a follow-up to a previous video about Job and his wife, who I believe died probably a year or two after the trials because of the tribulation that she saw. I'm basing this on the fact that Job 42 clearly identifies his daughters in a very different light than Job chapter 1 did. I believe after the Lord God Almighty spoke to Job, he then speaks to Job's three friends. They are called Eliphaz the Temanite, who I will refer to as the termite guy for brevity, Bildad the Shuhite, who's obviously a cobbler, and Zophar the Naamatite. The second two we're not going to worry about. But the Lord God Almighty says to the termite guy, I'm really furious with you and your two friends, because you have not spoken accurately of me as my servant Job has. But make these offerings, he will pray for you, and I will forgive you. So the termite guy and his two friends do that. Now, probably a year or so later, they've heard from farm show reports that Job's wife has died or is sick or whatever. But I believe the way that chapter 42 is written, that the daughters are from a different woman. And this is how I believe it happened. The termite guy said to his daughter, you know, your daughter, Zola, she's a very attractive young lady, and she's getting at the age now where she might want to be looking for a husband. And the daughter of the termite guy would have said, well, my daughter, your granddaughter, is looking at a guy across the pond. She kind of likes him. The termite guy would have said, across the pond? Those are the projects. She's not marrying anybody from the projects. She's going to marry Job. He's got money, and he's a good guy. The granddaughter would have said, I'm not going to marry that old buzzard. I want somebody that's young and healthy. The termite guy would have looked at his granddaughter and said, have you ever seen the finger of God pointing right at your nose with fire in his eyes? The granddaughter would have said, no. The termite guy would have said, trust me, you don't want to see that. I changed my pants 3 times that day. The first time was right after it happened, and the next 2 times was when I thought about what had happened. You're marrying Job. The granddaughter would have said, well, if I have to marry him, we're going to do things my way. I'm not going to take orders from him like I do you two. The termite guy would have said, I don't care about that. That's between you and Job. Obviously, this is terrible. But things like this did take place to create peace and harmony. Kingdoms married off their sons to the daughters of other kingdoms. And rich people married off their sons and daughters to the other influential peoples for sake of commerce and things like that. So something like this is very plausible. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, share it, like it, and I hope to see you around the next video. I'm Biblical Sojourner. May God give you peace.